Good morning, everyone. Welcome to you all, guests, speakers, colleagues, and friends. My name is Claudia Zettel. I'm the editor-in-chief of Futurezone, a technology platform owned by Courier. And on behalf of the Association of Digital Humanism, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the very first conference on digital humanism here in Vienna. We are thrilled to have you join us for what promises to be an inspiring and thought-provoking 3 days filled with presentations, discussions, debates. Together we'll explore the intersection of technology and humanity, and how we as a society can shape digital transformation in a way that truly serves people and society. To start this important conversation, it is my honor to guide us through this opening ceremony. Over the coming days, we'll hear from international and national experts working across disciplines, from philosophy to technology, from the public sector to civil society. All speakers will be engaging with one aspect of a shared fundamental question: how can we shape digital transformation in a way that truly serves people and society at the center? It is this question that brings us together and that will guide the discussions and debates and the ideas exchanged over the next few days, and hopefully later on when returning home. Before we start, let me thank the Austrian President, Alexander van der Bellen, for his patronage of this conference. Also, we would like the sponsors of this event, first and foremost the City of Vienna and its Science and Technology Fund, WWTF. We also thank the Austrian Research Promotion Agency, FFG, and the Vienna Business Agency, Wirtschaftsagentur Wien, for their support and contribution. Now, before we start here on stage with our guests, a special word of recognition is due to the Austrian Federal Ministry of Innovation, who supports an important Austrian technology platform on digital humanism, and consequently our evening reception later on this evening. We begin with a message from someone whose portfolio sits at the very heart of innovation and transformation in Austria. We begin with a message from Peter Hanke, from the Minister for Innovation, Mobility and Infrastructure, who unfortunately could not be with us here this morning, but he has kindly sent us a video greeting to mark this occasion. He will share his thoughts on the importance of digital humanism in today's policy landscape. Please.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, esteemed colleagues from science, industry, politics, and civil society, dear international guests from Asia, Africa, Latin America, and all continents, it is a great honor and pleasure to welcome you today to the first conference on digital humanism in Vienna. We are living in a time of profound transformation. Digital technologies are changing our lives, work, and communication, indeed our society as a whole, at an astonishing pace. This change brings enormous opportunities for progress, greater participation, access to knowledge, and global collaboration. But it also presents fundamental challenges. We are witnessing a concentration of power in digital markets, new forms of surveillance, algorithmic decisions that can threaten human rights, and developments that put our democracy under pressure. Digital Humanism is an initiative launched by Viennese research groups in response to these challenges, which over the past years has gained a large international audience and broad support. Digital humanism is not a backward-looking utopia, but a visionary, interdisciplinary, and highly current approach to thinking and shaping our digital future. Its goal is to design digitalization in a way that serves humans, and not the other way around. Digital humanism means to protect human dignity, freedom, and democracy even in the digital space, to consciously shape technologies instead of being shaped by them, to take responsibility in research, development, and politics, not to confuse machines with humans, but to draw clear boundaries. This approach is deeply rooted in the European Enlightenment. It is a call to reason and to the courage to use our own understanding, as Immanuel Kant expressed it. But it is also a plea for solidarity and responsibility towards the weaker, the environment, and future generations. Digital humanism is not only a scientific or philosophical project. It is a societal mandate for shaping our future. It combines technological design with political participation. And it requires all of us, computer scientists, ethicists, legal experts, educators, artists, entrepreneurs, and citizens. I am proud that Austria, with the Vienna Manifesto, initiatives from our universities, and international partnerships, has become a central hub of this movement. For this reason, we have also included digital humanism in our government program. I thank everyone who is here today to work together on this vision. Let us use this conference to learn from each other, to build bridges between disciplines, to discuss bold ideas, and to take concrete steps toward a human-centered digital future. I wish you an insightful, inspiring, and constructive conference. Thank you very much.
You might have noticed something about this video. So before you ask, yes, this was an AI-generated and supported translation into English. He actually, can you hear me? Yeah, he actually talked in German, but we were assured that these were his own words, so just the translation was AI-generated. So, thanks to the minister, and now, to officially open the conference, we are honored to have someone with us without whom it is unlikely that this event could even be possible. Her dedication to fostering critical discourse in the arts and sciences makes her an ideal person to open this dialogue on digital humanism. Please welcome with me Stadträtin Veronica Kaup-Hasler. Good morning.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, distinguished scientists, speakers and guests, esteemed colleagues, friends of the digital humanism movement. It is my profound honor to welcome you on behalf of the city of Vienna and the mayor of the city of Vienna to the first international conference on digital humanism here at the Museumsquartier. Here, in this historical area, over the next 3 days, people from all over the world will engage in dialogue, rigorous debate and creative collaboration, all aimed at the goal of ensuring that our digital future will serve democratic values, human rights, and societal progress. And I would add also, if we speak about digital humanism, we should always consider humans are living in a surrounding in the world, in the nature, and animals and nature are equally important to us. So it's not only the human being, but the whole living sphere we are considering. We know that, and yesterday I was having no voice because I was sick. Now I'm super healthy again. But I was more, my voice was more like merry and faithful. So I would spare that to you. But I was again seeing this documentation, The Social Dilemma, which is really, which all of you might have seen already. And this gives us a great insight what happened in the very last few years since COVID. So it's only 5 years away. And what happened to the world, what happened to democracy, what happened with social media. You all are aware of this, and especially if you come from the United States, where massive attacks on science are currently on the political agenda. We know that science and democracy have a strong bond and a strong link, and we will survive this area of Mr. Trump, but we should work on it. And but now you're in Vienna, a city which is dedicated to science, and a city which is strongly rooted in thinking about community, about society. So we have a great legacy here in the city, because Vienna history is one of intellectual daring and cultural openness. From the coffee house debates, which we want to continue here, of the Wiener Moderne to the groundbreaking work of the Vienna Circle, our city has time and again demonstrated how ideas can materialize and shape societies. Today, as artificial intelligence, big data, and digital platforms transform every aspect of our lives, Vienna embraces once more its responsibility to foster critical reflection and to champion a vision of technology that empowers people rather than subjugates them. The Red Vienna area. It was the area between 1919 and 1934 when the first phase of fascism was here, the so-called Austria fascism, and then we had the Nazis here, more Nazis than before, I would say. Established a comprehensive model of Daseinsvorsorge, municipal provision of housing, healthcare, education, and utilities as a cornerstone of social democracy. By framing basic services as universal rights rather than market commodities, the city government enabled extraordinary improvements in public welfare. Karl Polanyi, whose analysis in his book The Great Transformation is more relevant than ever, argued that the economic system must be embedded within social relationships, not the other way around. Especially with the developments in AI, the belief in market self-regulation as the primary driver of societal progress endangers our view of the bigger picture, namely social progress that provides a better life for everyone in society. I skipped now all the good deeds we are doing now to foster digital humanism, because I learned that others are speaking about that, so I spare you that. But why does it matter today? Research of different kinds. We need democratic resilience. We need to foster our resilience. We need to foster this kind of coming together in an analog way, coming again together, speaking, feeling each other, this kind of sensitive response to each other. We have to come back maybe to certain ways of a culture of dialogue. We have to think about social equity. We see how the world has become and who is really profiting from all the digital services we have now. And there are very few people being enormously rich, and the book of Douglas Shukoff shows that the riches are now, instead of giving money to saving the earth or putting money into education, to social services, NGOs, etc., they are really planning to leave this planet and to make housing areas where they are living in a big comfort, only dealing with the danger of who will be serving them, and might there be a threat by the people serving those, so the new slaves. So it is so crazy that I'm coming from the arts and my background is theater performance, and I would say there was many visions in the 70s, 60s created with dystopian films exactly pointing that out, that this might become our world, and they are just living in this kind of films and giving their money to very crazy ideas instead of saving the world. So we have to talk about wealth and distribution of wealth, and we have to talk about human flourishing. So technology should amplify human creativity, facilitate connection, and support well-being. It must never substitute for democratic deliberation or community building. And as I said before, environmental sustainability. This is very important and crucial, because what we do, we increase our need for energy. It's exponential, but the energy must come from somewhere. And we have to think, and maybe rethink also our notion of growing, the constant greed, the constant thinking that everything has to grow. Maybe we should reshape, refurbish, repair things and come to other conclusions. But we need you and your creativity and your solutions to solve all these urgent matters. So I'm just grateful for all of you to have come to Vienna. I'm grateful, Hannes Werthner and so many others, Anita, Michael Stampfer, Clemens Himpele, and so many of you sitting here, the ex-mayor of Vienna, who is a true hero in fighting for science. I think you all will have enriching discussions and enriching conversations. And I wish for you and for us all the best for the next 3 days and many good impulses. Let's be the Robin Hood community in these times.
Thanks a lot to Stadträtin Kaup-Hasler for her encouraging words. Now, it is my pleasure to welcome a figure who has long been a character for Vienna as a city of knowledge, culture, and openness, and who understands the importance of placing human values at the core of progress. Many of you will know him as the former mayor of the city of Vienna. In addition, he is a steadfast advocate for science, reason, and dialogue. Also as the president of the Vienna Science and Technology Fund, WWTF. Please welcome with me Dr. Michael Häupl for his opening words.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, the Vienna Science and Technology Fund is a local research founder and a strong partner of Viennese research organizations and researchers. With a budget of 18 to 20 million euro per year, financed by a private foundation and the city of Vienna, WWTF supports Vienna as a research location with targeted, international evaluated founding codes. With a strong focus on founding interdisciplinary research, WWTF acts as a bridge builder between institutions, disciplines, and researchers, and has supported digital humanism research projects with more than 10 million in the past 5 years. Already as mayor of Vienna, it was important for me that the digitalization in Vienna was done responsibly and close collaboration between public administration and science. Now, as president of WWTF, I'm proud to say that our mission is to establish a critical mass in science and research around digital humanism in Vienna, in close connection with the city of Vienna and the broader society, is well underway. Vienna, as an important center for science and innovation in Europe, is now establishing itself as a center for digital humanism, with this very conference setting a great example. From the research founding perspective, for WWTF, digital humanism means to bring together computer scientists and scholars from the social sciences and humanities for interdisciplinary research. When the Vienna Manifesto on Digital Humanism was written in 2019 at the Technical University of Vienna, followed by a study commissioned by the City of Vienna and done by WWTF on the potential of digital humanism in Vienna, it was clear that the stake for all us are high. So in 2020, WWTF decided to launch the first call for digital humanism research projects, and it was received with high enthusiasm from the local research communities, as was the case for the second call for projects in 2023. In 2 founding rounds, WWTF received over 160 applications and founded 15 large research projects. This afternoon, you have the opportunity to hear from many of the PIs to the digital humanism projects in the 10th DigHum Projects in Action session. One milestone is a newly established doctoral college for digital humanism taking place in 3 major Viennese universities, founded in a joint effort from the City of Vienna and WWTF. By founding the next generation of digital humanism researchers, we hope to continue this moment gained. Furthermore, to distribute the idea of digital humanism beyond academia to industry and civil society. Together with the business agency WWTF run a founding call aimed at all aligning organization strategies with digital humanism in companies and research organizations. Together with a closely knit net of the cooperation partners, we have come the long way in the past 5 years. And while much has already been achieved, we see this as just the beginning, because shaping a human-centered digital future required continued collaboration, curiosity and commitment from all of us. Have a great conference.
Thanks a lot to Dr. Häupl for his perspective and his opening words. Now, also thanks to all our opening speakers for setting the tone for this conference and for opening it with such vision and energy. Before we dive into the sessions ahead of us, we want to take a moment to lay a strong foundation and ask, what is digital humanism really about? Where did the concept originate, and why now? To help us answer these questions, I'm delighted to welcome 2 of the leading voices behind this initiative, and 2 people without whom this conference would not exist at all. Hannes Werthner and Erich Prem, please come on stage with me. First, let me introduce you Professor Hannes Werthner, a computer scientist, a long-term dean at TU Wien. He has been the key figure in shaping and articulating the concept of digital humanism. His work has helped position Vienna as a central hub for critical thinking around technology and society. Hannes, thank you for joining us. You will now provide a short introduction to digital humanism. The floor is yours.
Thank you for the nice introduction. Welcome, and I'm so happy to see you here. You cannot imagine how happy I am to see you here. 6 years ago, we started our journey together on discussing digital humanism and, let's say, to make joint activities over these 6 years. I thought, as we will discuss in the conference, different aspects of digital humanism, to provide a short introduction, not a very long one, you are all acquainted with it, but maybe some of you not, so to set the context of this conference and of these different aspects. I just have provided 6 or 7 slides, so it's not very long, and I'm open for further questions. This is something which is obvious to many of us, but maybe not to all of us. We are living in a physically virtual world. This is something where we see it from the, let's say, personal level, experience level. In this picture, nobody is looking at the sunset really. We all have these devices, maybe making photos at the same time. But this is not only on the personal experiment level. It goes up to the political level, it goes to the geopolitical level. Just observe how our world is changing today. What's really underlying there is that we have the web and the internet as, let's say, an infrastructure, the operating system of our society. Without it would not work. It provides services as public goods, mainly owned by privates, but it provides services the public could not really offer in that quality. What's behind that, and it also mentioned by Veronica, the process of the last maybe 20 years, 30 years is this digital transformation, as we call it. And it's a complex process. It's not only technologically, it's an economic, social, and even a personal psychological change happening. We are working with that, but we have to be aware that this process will not stop. It will not stop. IT will not stop. It will continue to change us, and to change our society. These are two sides of it. It's essential for functioning. Just remember the COVID. The world would not have functioned without our IT infrastructure and the web. It also showed where we have some deficiencies in this development. It's the basis for innovation and also growth. It offers a rich set of information which is freely available at the moment. It offers good, essential public and services and good. And it's also essential, just look at the Sustainable Development Goals, to solve fundamental problems of our world. It's not the only key to that, but it will participate in this, in solving this. But there are two sides of it. We're having the side, the negative one, and I have here a list. They are somehow linked. They are not interdependent. We have a high concentration in the web, which is somehow a paradox because the web was designed as an open, democratic, distributed platform and infrastructure. And due to specific dynamics, well described also by Moshe Wadi in his famous paper, How the Hippies Destroyed the Internet, it became highly concentrated. Sovereignty is under threat of states, international organizations. Just think of that Microsoft blocked the account, the email account of Khan, the chief prosecutor of the International Court of Justice, because just Trump imposed sanction on the court. This shows how strong it already dependent and how not sovereign the different states are. We have fake news, we have social media, where the political discourse is defined by the rhythm of social media. It's not the classical media anymore, which defined how and in which tone the public discourse is structured. Look at Trump. He's making politics by using social media. Other journals, the other media are following. So this shows the strength in this area. We have AI, where we do not know where it will stop. Seriously talking about it. Limits are hard to see at the moment. What does this? It questions us as human beings. This is the question behind what is really the task of a human being, having these powerful tools. It's not about the tools alone. It questions us. We have to discuss what is our role in this new structure and this new situation. We have privacy and surveillance, not only in the US, also in Europe. There are laws underway in Austria supporting surveillance. I'm not going into detail. This would be a very political discussion here. But this is really an issue where digital humanism also had to point at. Autonomous weapons, we see it at the moment. We are really where AI is taking over decision in warfare. at the moment with a limited account, but they are underway specific, let's say, technological progress. And it's a really threat to our society. And already mentioned sustainability, environment. And at the end, we should not forget, is AI here to help us, to augment our capabilities, or is it here to substitute us? What will be the work life of our grandkids? Will they be dependent of these machines, or will they be the master of the new universe? And this is an underlying question of digital humanism. And all these questions, these critical issues, are not only AI. AI is just sharpening them, pointing at it, and making it very obvious. And this was somehow the basis why we organized this workshop in 2019. It was very truly interdisciplinary, from computer science up to legal issue. It was both. It was a point of consolidation because the idea of digital humanism was already around in Vienna, in Austria. 2 persons are sitting here. It was already internationally discussed at the Sorbonne from philosophers with a different attitude. It was discussed in Germany, also from a philosophic point of view, but not from a technical point of view. This was, let's say, at the workshop, it was also the starting point of bringing the ideas together to provide a coherent picture and to start our international activities. And I want to mention here really the fundamental role of the senior advisory board of the Faculty of Computer Science. At that time I was the dean. And all my colleagues, Edward Lee is here and Moshe here, others are not here, are still in the, let's say, in the international network. And all of us, the disadvantage and the advantage is that we are elderly guys. We knew that we have screwed up something, as Moshe said, and we have to fix it. It's up also to computer science to fix it, but also to understand it's not us alone. We cannot do it alone. Then we are lost. It's the same as technology cannot solve the problems of the world alone. It can contribute. And there we defined then digital humanism as an approach or an idea to analyze this relationship, this interplay between technology and human and society, or as Edward Lee would say, the co-evolution of both. It's also evolution on the cultural level. But not only to analyze in this analytical approach, we need different disciplines, but also to interfere with this development. And then there's a normative part for a better society, for a better living in accordance to nature, okay, and human rights. It states, and this is a fundamental issue, technological development is not deterministic. There is no external being defining how technology should be developed and evolve. It's up to us. We are designers and developers. It's only humans developing it. And there's human agency. We should design it according to our needs and also wishes. It's up to us, to the human. We have the freedom to choose, but we also have the obligation to interfere. With the freedom comes the obligation. Not just looking, doing. In that sense, the manifesto, which was then, I will come to the next one, is also an approach. It's a constructive, optimistic approach. It's not going back and analytical, dystopic statements. Sometimes there have to be dystopic statements, but we have to overcome it. It has to be constructive. This brings me to the Vienna Manifesto, which at the moment we wrote it, The term manifesto goes back to Hans Ackermann's, where at the beginning we had another notion. It was Hans's idea to call it manifesto for having a worldwide statement. It's now translated in 11 languages. We have it even in Farsi and some other important languages. There are more people speaking that than German, for example. And there we lay out that it's a call for action. It has a reflective part, looking at the society and having this double-side development picture. But then there are basic principles. Principle is democratic approach. It's the basis of it. Second one is regulate. And we confess that regulation is a necessity. And this has to do with the concentration. We have to regulate the development. And we agree that there is a regulation in the car driving industry, in the airline industry, even in the book printing industry, I have learned, thanks to Anita. Why shouldn't be there a regulation in the IT world? Okay? This is a false argument coming forward. We underline the importance of academia as an independent body of politics, which is important. We need politics, but we should not trust them too much. Sorry if I say this here in front of politicians. But I am sure you agree with the statement. It's coming from my heart. And we underline the importance of education. This is not the early end, but nearly the end. I just want to end with, and here I have to take my paper. I also have a piece of paper for not forgetting something. These are 3 books, all of them open access. The first, the Springer ones, are, let's say, scientific collections of work. Many of the authors are sitting in the room. And just to tell you, they are open access, and we have reached 1.4 million downloads. This is really an impressive figure. And the masterpiece in the middle is a short version of the Introduction to Digital Humanism, translated to German and now to English. It's also open access. It's only 12 chapters of the thick book, and it's dedicated for teaching. It's an open access teaching material for high school and also for adult education. And they're underway already first teaching courses in Vienna with an entire curricula around digital humanism and an introduction to artificial intelligence. And here I would especially thank the co-editors, Anita Eichinger and Peter Knees. Thank you. Before I finish, I still have 5 minutes, I hope. Maybe 6. Thank you, Moshe. No, I just want to say what we did in the 6 years. And this is an impressive list. We had regular online lectures, the so-called Digital Humanism lectures, every 3rd or 4th week. We had over nearly now 70 lectures. And all the material is online available, free, accessible. The talks, as well as the slides. We had conferences. We have research programs, we heard already, so I do not repeat them, but we also have networking activities funded by the Austrian ministry. And we have networking activities funded by the European Union. There's a big European project on networking different players worldwide to bring them together in the digital humanism arena. We have a doctoral colleague. I'm really thankful to the city and to the WWTF. Even I have to mention half of it is paid by the universities, which is a good approach, so that will do something. But I think it's really important thing. We have an award. We have political interventions. We had an open letter, which is now a petition in the European Parliament to defend European regulation in the cyber world. And this is also an activity where you see that the digital humanism comes from research, like a colleague, up to political communication, reaching the European Parliament, and having really a part in the European discussion. We have summer schools, and of one I'm really proud of. There will be a summer school in Africa, where also Ricardo will be there, on digital humanism in Kigali in Rwanda in July, 1 week, where we had 150 applications, and we had to select 60, which was a hard story. And we have a non-profit association founded, and there are discussions underway, I heard, of founding and funding, which is equally important, a center or institute for digital humanism here in Vienna. And if this would happen, this would really a step forward. So you see, we achieved quite a lot. With funding, without funding, more important, commitment. But it also shows that an idea brought forward in the right moment in time in history can really change something. It can provide something which somehow can scale and even accelerate. Now there are so many activities underway that you cannot even mention them all, and I'm already excused here for those I did not mention. Final word, the wind is changing. We experience a backslash, not only in the US, but also in Europe. In Europe, there are activities underway in the direction of deregulation, also in the area of ICT. The notion is economic growth above everything, at the cost of regulation and even environmental things. And there we have to be careful, we have to stay attentive, we have to look at that. This is also a task of digital humanism. For this, I thank you for being here. I thank you for having joined us. And I think there's still something to do for us. For this, all the best.
Thank you, Hannes, for your presentation. Now, I'd like to ask you a few more questions on the topic. Please join us here. Digital humanism positions itself not only as a critique of technology, it is also a constructive agenda. How do you envision its influence on research, education, or public policy?
No, I think it's an ongoing experiment. If you go into research, you cannot really design exactly what will happen. It's an endeavor somehow driven by curiosity and creativity. And it's still human, it's still a human approach. I think that we can state some principles. Principle is respect human dignity, look for improving the situation of living beings, things like that. But you have to be careful that these normative statements do not become too strong. Research, specifically scientific research, needs freedom. You should not cut away areas of this research. And I think you have two approaches. One is bottom-up, where you have to give really freedom to research, to the researchers. Host researchers at the moment where in the US they have to emigrate. This is something where we could provide something, but this is already happening now in Europe. I have some in the room, we could discuss with them specific approaches. But on the other side, we also need some, let's say, ethical constraints, and we have to think that. But it's an ongoing experiment, it will be exciting, and I invite you all to participate in this exciting experiment.
Vienna has played a special role in the international discourse on this topic. Can you explain us why here? What makes the city such a fertile ground for these ideas?
This is a hard question. History is not repeatable. So, but I think Veronica already explained some. It's a long tradition coming from the Vienna circle. It has something to do with the mixture of cultures and different nations in Austria, where it was really a fruitful thing. It was something where it was really, let's say, it was something, a level of discussion. It was not only scientific. By the way, there were many Russian revolutionaries living in Vienna, like Trotsky, who was living here, asking all of the Viennese for money. He was funny, he was famous for that. Sorry, this is just an improvement. Showing that computer science also know a little bit of history. So this is one part. The other part is Vienna lost during the war and after the war, and it took a long time. And then it succeeded in creating an environment. And here I really want to underline the success of the logics, let's say development in the logics department at TU Wien, but also at the University of Vienna, which somehow laid the level for this discussion, and which also brought forward an international network where we really could establish this. So I'm grateful to Vienna. There was sometimes histories like that. You need something like in a bottle, you need the right density of particles so that they can interact, and there has to be some, let's say, new part coming in, and this was the idea. In a moment of time where it became clear the digitalization is not only heaven on earth, okay? There are other parts, and this was a crucial moment in time when it was already, let's say, at least in the scientific world, discussed that there are downsides.
Looking ahead, how would you like to see the digital humanism movement grow, both locally and globally?
I think it should continue as it did it now. I think it's important, if this really would happen, that we have a center where already several universities signed an agreement to cooperate. I think what is important, you need also a physical hub. I think it's not only virtual networks without physical hub do not work properly. As I see Mark here at this university and his initiative, also you have a physical hub with your Center for AI and Policy, sorry. We have so many acronyms. So you need a physical center, and I think this is a friend of mine, I'm not telling, he's now in retired, one of the big managers in Austria. He wrote me a long SMS congratulating to Digital Humanism, and he thought, he's wondering why the Austrian government doesn't take this initiative and put it as a central motivation for the politics in research policy. He does not understand. It's something where you could really put it on a worldwide scale and play, as you all hear from different parts of the world, an international game. The success is the international game.
Well, then thank you for your insights and your thoughts. You can stay with us on stage if you like, or sit down.
Thank you.
So, big applause. Now, I'd like to turn to someone who has been instrumental in transforming these ideas into action. Dr. Erich Prem, a computer researcher, philosopher, entrepreneur, and the president of the Association of Digital Humanism, which is hosting this conference. Erich, thank you for being here with us today. I also have a few questions for you. You've been deeply involved in organizing this event. Could you share with us the rationale behind the conference? Why now, and what are the main objectives?
All right. Thanks very much. I have to be here. So although there have been some smaller events in the past, I mean, we had summer schools, we had roadmap workshops, smaller scientific symposia, but there's never been a large conference on digital humanism. So this is it, in case you doubt. In full, I think, alignment with what Hannes just said with digital humanism, the idea is that the conference addresses a broad range of issues. There is, in the title, a certain focus on artificial intelligence, but Hannes already mentioned it. It's not just that. It's everything. It's digitalization is everywhere. But of course, having AI as creating the dynamics that society has experienced, I think it's necessary to address it, and this is what the event does. But our topics range from privacy to monopolies, from state sovereignty to innovation. Let's not forget about social innovation. So today will be devoted to AI and society, addressing in particular in the next session already democracy as a central topic, but also the technical trajectory for artificial intelligence, which is the next session. But we'll also be discussing possible answers from societal ones to regulation to technology. I think it's important. Digital humanism sometimes is mistaken for techno-optimism. That's not what it is. There are certainly things that technology cannot do, and I would also assume there are things that technology shouldn't do. So we can discuss this as well. Don't be shy. But also in line with digital humanism, we will be discussing how to harvest the benefits of this technology for society, for social innovation, for entrepreneurship and for business. Because without business and the industry, I don't think we can succeed. We need to take it on board. So all of these are topics for Wednesday, and I'm very much looking forward to the debates.
The program brings together voices from academia, politics, civil society, and the private sector. What kind of dialogue are you hoping to foster between these communities?
So I would like to encourage productive debates. So it was already mentioned, there has been a lot of criticism and there's a lot of analytical thinking, which is good, but we also need productive debates. We need debates that look forward. The central question driving us should be, what does a good digital life look like? And it is absolutely surprising and stunning that currently we do not have a vision. We don't have an answer to this question. We actually do not know what a digital good life should even be. And this is different from what it used to be. We used to have such a vision. When the internet came along, when it was first created, there were ideas of how the internet would connect people and societies and knowledge, and this vision, somehow, we have lost that vision. So we need a new vision. And this is why I'm really grateful that we have visionaries here with us. And we also have artists here, for example, already starting this afternoon. I encourage you, if you're interested in that, please join us upstairs in the Baroque suites, where also a group of, not only the environmental issues will be tackled, but also the questions of, well, what artists can contribute, but also what it means for artists to live in this age that we live in, the digital age that we live in now. So we need this broad debate to make progress, and it's also necessary to contact people, to build platforms and networks. It was also mentioned, so you will see, especially tomorrow and on Wednesday, there are several initiatives to try and bring things together. It was already mentioned, we have a new European Union-funded project. It's called UDIT, which stands for the European Digital Humanism Initiative, which I have the doubtful pleasure of coordinate it, but we'll see. I think it'll be an instrument to leverage what we're doing here to a European level. So, and finally, maybe we should also mention that on Wednesday evening, I know the next day is going to be a public holiday, but a good reason for being here is that the Vienna Business Administration is actually going to announce a call, Tech for People, so a new funding call for industry, so new money in that area, so that's also great.
Thanks. The Association of Digital Humanism was recently founded. Can you tell us a bit about its mission and how it connects to this conference?
Yeah. So it was actually founded a couple of years ago because it was founded in order to publish these books, and from that it has developed into an organization that really brings together very different people who have an interest in digital humanism. Is also open to associations. So, for example, we have the Technical University of Vienna is a member, and we have other organizational members, which is really important, as it's something that allows us to carry the idea forward. I know many people have registered also in order to get the reduced fee for today, but it's also good. That was the idea. But it likes to remain an independent entity. I think it's, Hannes has presented it very nicely. It's digital humanism is interdisciplinary. Now, not all the disciplines are always in love with each other. So and neither are the universities, despite of what Hannes said. So I think it's quite important to have a neutral entity that is, and that's what we try to be, to offer something for everybody and to foster thinking, education, and research in digital humanism.
What do you hope participants of this conference will take away from these 3 days, and how do you see the outcomes influencing future work in this area?
So usually I think the main idea behind conferences is you sit there and you listen to interesting ideas and you take away insights, learnings, messages. But I would like to encourage you to do a bit more, to share ideas. We have especially designed this conference to have long breaks. So talk to someone you don't know, try to develop a new idea, maybe foster one or the other initiative. So I think that's what conferences, if we take this burden of meeting in person and the risk, then I think we should try to exploit it as much as we can, and this is the idea: be productive, discuss something together, do something. So I hope this is the idea behind the conference: add direction, depth, and dynamics to digital humanism, I would say.
Thank you very much. That was it with my questions, but I know you have a few more words to say to the audience.
Yeah, just organizational remarks. So just because this will be probably the only time where everybody's in one room, just for you, as when you haven't been here before, there are 3 conference rooms. There's this one, which is the biggest room. The next room, called Ovalhalle, is the one where we have a mixed bag of sessions. But in particular, there's also the exhibition of the currently funded digital humanism projects by WWTF. So maybe you want to have a look there. There is going to be, in the next session, also a short lightning talks by the people who actually work on those projects. So that may be something that you could be interested in. And then there is a little bit more difficult to reach upstairs. In Vienna, we call it the first floor. Don't be surprised if you think it's something different. It's more like the second floor, or probably even the third floor, because you have to go up 2 flights of stairs to get there. In the Baroque Suite A is where a lot happens. I should probably mention toilets are where you came in at the entrance. There's also toilets up near the Baroque suites. They are all a bit tiny, but there is more toilets. There's public toilets actually at the main entrance. So if you prefer that, that's also something. I should say tonight the digital humanism reception is supported by the ministry that we affectionately call BMIMI. It's Innovation, Mobility, and Infrastructure. And there will also be music, and there's going to be a dinner talk that I was told is slightly humoristic. So there is humor even when we talk about AI, but it's British humor, so I'm not sure I'll find it funny, but be prepared. And I think that's all I want to mention for today.
Okay, thank you very much. Big applause. So now we are almost finished with our opening ceremony. And before I leave you to the coffee break, let me share a few more thoughts, because we are here in Vienna, the city of coffee and coffee houses. They are more than just beautiful places, as you might know, to sit and sip an espresso. They are also spaces of thinking, debate, and creative exchange. And the legend goes that the tradition began with the Ottomans left behind sacks of coffee beans after the siege of Vienna in 1683. what followed was not just a taste of caffeine, but a whole culture of conversation. So just around the corner from here, at the center of the city, people like Freud, Schrödinger, Gödel and Wittgenstein sat in cafes and questioned the world. They challenged assumptions, they disagreed, and they listened. So the cafe wasn't just where ideas were shared, it's where they were born. With that thought, I invite you to take inspiration from that tradition, speak with someone new, ask a bold question, share a wild idea. Let the coffee house spirit live on right here at the conference on digital humanism. So now enjoy your break, and we see each other again at 11.
Thank you.